All right, good evening. I would like to call to order the final millage and county budget hearing. Today is September 17th, 2024, and the time is 5:05. I will ask the county attorney to read into record the proof of public hearing notification.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have provided the clerk with a copy of the affidavit of publication dated the 21st. You are lawfully empowered to proceed.
Thank you. I now hereby open the public hearing this evening on the fiscal year 24-25 final millage and budget for Lee County. If anyone in our audience is here for the purpose of contesting their assessment, they should contact Lee County Property Appraiser. Tonight we are holding the final millage and budget public hearing as required by Florida statutes chapters 129 and 200. The hearing will be conducted as follows. A, the board will first convene as the Board of Port Commissioners and proceed as follows. Budget presentation by Port Authority Deputy Executive Director. Public comment for final Port Authority budget. This will be your only opportunity to comment on all budgets the Board of Port Commissioners has authority over. There will be no other opportunity during this hearing to provide your comments. Board of Port Commissioners discussion and motions. Adoption of the fiscal year 24-25 final Port Authority budget resolution with any appropriate changes. Following that, the board will reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners and will proceed as follows. Brief overview of Lee County's fiscal year 24-25 proposed budget presented by the CFO. Presentation of Lee County's total budget by the CFO, including discussions of percentage increases in millage and over the rollback rate needed to fund the budget and specific purposes for which the valorem. Oh my gosh!
Ad valorem.
Say it again, sir.
Ad valorem.
Ad valorem. Thank you. I couldn't get that out of my mouth. Tax revenues are being increased. FL 200.065 to E1. Presentation of a special taxing unit proposed final millage by the CFO. Public comment for all budget issues under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. This will be your only opportunity to comment on the budgets the Board of County Commissioners has authority over. There will be no other opportunity during this hearing to provide your comments. Following public comment, the Board of County Commissioners may comment and then take action to move the approval of appropriate changes, a resolution to adopt the final millage and the final budget. Okay, 6, consider special taxing units, final millages and budgets. Consider countywide final millage and budget. Consider library unincorporated MSTU and all hazard protection final millage and budget. Consider all other final budgets. Concerning citizen comments, in order to expedite the hearing for everyone, citizens' comments will only be heard during the 2 public comment segments of this hearing. 1 segment of the Board of Port Commissioners and 1 for the Board of County Commissioners. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. Please do not applaud or take other actions that might intimidate or encourage against the speaker. Public comments will continue until everyone who wishes to address the Commission has had the opportunity to speak. We will now convene as the Board of Port Commissioners. We are now asked the Port Authority Deputy Executive Director to present the fiscal year 24-25 proposed budget.
Good evening, Commissioners. For the record, Brian McGonigal, Lee County Port Authority. Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to read into the record on page 3. In compliance with Florida statute, a public hearing is being held today, September 17th, 2024, for the purpose of adopting the final budget for fiscal year 24-25. The Board of Port Commissioners has acknowledged the revenue estimates necessary to fund the Port Authority budget for fiscal year 24-25. The Board of County Commissioners is now convened as the Board of Port Commissioners for adoption of the final Port Authority budget. The budget for fiscal year 24-25, as shown by the attached schedules of each fund, is now made a part of this resolution and is proposed for adoption of the final budget of the Lee County Port Authority for fiscal year 24-25. No adjustments are being proposed for the Port Authority budget at this time, with one exception. When we presented the budget to you in detail back in June, we did make one exception, and we added a 6% salary increase for all employees effective October 1st. This is to mirror our discussion of what's being done with the county. Thank you.
All right. At this time, the commission will be pleased to hear any citizens' comments concerning the Port Authority's final budget for fiscal year 24-25. Are there any citizens who would like to speak? You will have 3 minutes when you come up. Light's green. When it turns yellow, you have 1 minute. Please, when the light turns red, please have your comments completed. This is Port Authority. Okay. I do not have any cards that I see from Port Authority. So is there anyone that would like to speak on that? Okay, seeing none. Before closing public comment, anyone else wish to speak? I'm sorry, that was for the cards. This now concludes the public comment segment regarding the Port Authority budget. Any questions from the board at this time? Nope. Okay. I want to now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for Port Authority for the fiscal year 24-25. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Lorraine, a second from Commissioner Sandelli.
Very good.
Okay. Any further discussion at this time from the board? Okay, seeing none, are there any objections?
Nope.
The motion carries unanimously 4-0. Okay.
Thank you.
We will now reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. We will begin by asking that if any constitutional officer or any court-related service organization desire to make a budget presentation, to please step forward to the podium one at a time to make your statements. Okay. So, seeing none, at this time, we will ask the CFO to present the fiscal year 24-25 proposed budget.
This is the public hearing as required by Chapters 129 and 200 Florida statutes. Chapter 200 as amended requires that a public hearing on the budgets be preceded by notice of the hearing. Such notice was advertised in the news press on September 14th, 2024. At this time, we will read the proposed millages, rollback rates, and the proposed percentage change from the rollback rate for the county's general fund, library, unincorporated area, MSTU, all hazards, and special taxing units millages. We will then take public input, and after public input, we will return to the board for discussion and vote on the millages. These proposed millages are established to pay for the fiscal year 2024-25 continuation budget. The proposed countywide millage is 3.7623 mils per thousand taxable value, equal to the rollback rate of 3.4613 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is an 8.7% increase from the rollback rate. Commissioners, additional revenues provided by the tax base increase, primarily used to invest in public safety, both law enforcement, emergency medical services, including 75 new positions in the Sheriff's Office, 34 additional EMS positions, and technology upgrades. Lee County Library, the proposed Lee County Library millage is 0.4714 mils per thousand taxable value, equal to the rollback rate of 0.4361 mils per thousand taxable value. The proposed millage is an 8.1% increase from the rollback rate. Revenues are being used to pay for the library operations, maintenance, and any renovations required. Proposed Lee County unincorporated area MSTU millage is 0.8398 mils per thousand taxable value, compared to the rollback rate of 0.7711 mils per thousand of taxable value. Proposed millage is an 8.92% increase from the rollback rate. Revenues are being used primarily in the Department of Transportation to pay for expanding road network as well as positions to maintain the road network, and also additional code enforcement positions. The proposed Lee County All Hazards Protection District millage is 0.0693 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.0643 mils per thousand taxable value. This represents a 7.83% increase in the rollback rate. Revenues are being used to replenish funds that were depleted for emergency response during Hurricane Ian. The municipal services taxing units allow communities to tax themselves to pay for added services such as street lights, dredging, road paving, and landscaping. For these units that have citizen committees, the budgets for the next year were approved by the committees, and the tax rate is a reflection of what is required to pay the annual costs. For those that don't have citizen committees, the county charges a rate that pays for annual costs while maintaining a small operational reserve for variances in revenues and unanticipated costs. I will now read into the record the proposed millage rates, the rollback rates, and the percentage change from the rollback rates for each of the special taxing units millages. Alabama Groves Light, MSTU, proposed millage 0.53. That's a 0.88% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.5347. Bayshore Estates Light, MSTU, proposed millage 1.62. That's a 6.82% increase over the rollback rate of 1.5166. Billy Creek Commerce Center Light, MSTU, proposed millage of 0.17. That's an 8.55% increase over the rollback rate of 0.1566. Burkdale Street Light, MSTU, proposed millage 0.31. That's a 17.08% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2648. Burnt Store Fire, proposed millage 3.17. That's a 39.26% increase over the rollback rate of 2.2763. Charleston Park Light, MSTU, proposed millage 1.5. That's a 23.54% increase over the rollback rate of 1.2141. Cypress Lake Light, proposed millage 0.41. It's a 16.13% increase over the rollback rate of 0.3531. Daughtry Creek Light, proposed millage 0.9. That's an 18.04% increase over the rollback rate of 0.7625. Flamingo Bay Light, proposed millage of 0.48. That's a 26.28% increase over the rollback rate of 0.3801. Fort Myers Shores Light, proposed millage of 0.1785. That's a 9.09% increase over the rollback rate of 0.1636. Fort Myers Villas Light, proposed millage of 0.255. That's a 23.72% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2061. Gasparilla Island, MSTU, proposed millage of 0.032. That's a proposed decrease of 30.63% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.0461. Harlem Heights Light, proposed millage of 0.55. That's a 30.20% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4224. Hyman Apollo Streetlight Unit, proposed millage of 1.03. It's a 29.28% increase over the rollback rate of 0.7967. Hendry Creek Light, proposed millage of 0.47. That's a 14.13% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4118. Iona Gardens Light, proposed millage of 0.55. That's a 2.23% increase over the rollback rate of 0.5380. Lehigh Acres Light, 0.7460. That's an 8.96% increase over the rollback rate of 0.6847. Lockmore Village Light, proposed millage of 0.76. That's a 24.43% increase over the rollback rate of 0.6108. Maravilla Fire District, proposed millage of 2. That's a 25.69% decrease over the rollback rate of 2.6916. McGregor Isles O&M Special Improvement Unit, proposed millage of 0.5. That's an 8.55% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4606. Mobile Haven Light, proposed millage of 0.75. That's a 9.18% increase over the rollback rate of 0.6869. Moore Shores Light, proposed millage of .343. That's a 5.43% increase over the rollback rate of .3253. North Fort Myers Light, proposed millage of .23. That's a 9.36% increase over the rollback rate of .2103. Northeast Hurricane Bay, MSTU, proposed millage of 1. That's a 3.86% decrease over the rollback rate of 1.0402. Page Park Light, that's a proposed millage of .3. That's a 28.40% increase over the rollback rate of .2336. Palmetto Point Light, proposed millage of .75. That's a 45.81% increase over the rollback rate of .5144. Palmona Park Light, proposed millage of .9. That's a 9.66% increase over the rollback rate of .8207. Pine Manor Light is a proposed millage of .416. That's a 5.91% increase over the rollback rate of .3928. Port Edison Light, proposed millage of .6. That's a 4.56% increase over the rollback rate of .5738. Riverdale Shores Improvement Unit, proposed millage of 2. That's a 14.67% increase over the rollback rate of 1.7441. Russell Park Light, proposed millage of .63. It's a 13.47% increase over the rollback rate of .5552. San Carlos Island Lighting Unit, proposed millage of .1050. That's a 34.04% increase over the rollback rate of .0783. San Carlos Special Improvement Unit, proposed millage of .28. That's a 9.31% increase over the rollback rate of .2562. Skyline Light, a proposed millage of .2. That's a 31.64% increase over the rollback rate of .1519. Jude Harbor Light, proposed millage of .27. That's a 20.87% increase over the rollback rate of .2234. Tanglewood Improvement, proposed millage of 1. That's an 8% increase over the rollback rate of .9259. Town and River Improvement, MSTU, that's a proposed millage of .5. That's a 9.37% increase over the rollback rate of .4571. Trailwinds Light is a proposed millage of .5055. That's a 32.60% increase over the rollback rate of .3812. Trop Giles Light, proposed millage of .53. That's a 6.61% increase over the rollback rate of .4971. Usepa Island Fire, proposed millage of 4.63. It's a 1.47% increase over the rollback rate of 4.5631. Villa Palms Light, proposed millage of .75. That's a 22.07% increase over the rollback rate of .6144. Villa Pines Light, that's a proposed millage of .36. That's a 28.71% increase over the rollback rate of .2797. Waterway Estates Light, it's a proposed millage of .34, which is a 16.74% increase over the rollback rate of .2912. Waterway Shores Light, proposed millage of 5.5. That's a 378.51% increase over the rollback rate of 1.1494. Whiskey Creek Improvement, proposed millage of .9999. That's a 7.52% increase over the rollback rate of .9299. Commissioners, on the Waterway Shores Light, that increase was approved by the committee, and the committee has expanded the unit to include boat ramp and seawalls. The previously read fiscal year 2024-25 special unit taxing unit millages are proposed for final adoption. Any percentage in the proposed millage over the rollback rate reflected above is due to a combination of increased electric costs, additional landscaping, and other future projects. If no changes are made after public comment, only one motion to adopt will be required, as the resolution includes all of these taxing units.
Okay. All right, at this time, the commission will be pleased to hear any citizens' comments concerning any budget under the authority of Board of County Commissioners. Again, to reiterate, for those members of the public who have come in following the opening of the hearing, This will be the only opportunity you have to comment on the budgets. The Board of County Commissioners have authority over. There will be no opportunity during the hearing to provide your comments, no other opportunity to provide your comments. Okay, so I have some cards, so this will be the time to call a card. So I have Dana Kroger. Kroger? Kroger? That it?
It wasn't to address any budget items.
Okay, no budget. All right, so are all these, are, all of these are at the end of public matters? Is anyone here to speak on the budget? Yes. Okay. Okay. Come on up, and instead of calling cards, just give us your name. We'll do it that way.
Michael Peters, 241 Alameda, candidate for Supervisor of Elections. I still haven't conceded, instead have filed a contest of the election. Most importantly, I was here 2 weeks ago and said we have a problem with the Supervisor of Elections budget. It needs to be audited. It needs to be a forensic audit. Forensically, because Kevin Carnes and I disagree, but forensic audit basically stands up and does the job once rather than twice. A standard audit per Deloitte & Touche or anyone else out there will tell you those auditors are not prepared to testify in court, criminal or civil. A forensic audit guarantees that. These are all people ideally from outside the area who have testified in court repeatedly regarding waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption that they find. Now I'd like to expand my proposal from 2 weeks ago to include the Sheriff's Office, since multiple members of the County Commission have determined there seems to be quite a few problems there as well. And if you can't do a forensic audit of both, since you're responsible for the budget for both, how about we set it up on a month-to-month basis until that can happen? Because throwing money in a hole isn't the desire of the taxpayers. Thank you.
Okay. Up next, come on up and state your name.
Bob Valenta. I would add to that to say that we need a clawback of misappropriated monies from any constitutional office, and you are the only stopgap to that budget, to that clawback. I know your attorney, who is your employee, says that's not in your purview, but you guys are my employee. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Claw that misappropriated money back. I also have a new slogan for the ad valorem tax. If you can't say it, we can't pay it.
Thank you, sir. Next. Who's up next? Come on up, state your name, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Virginia Cullison. I am a Lee County taxpayer, and I am concerned by the recent allegations of potential misuse of taxpayer monies by the Office of the Supervisor of Elections. I urge you to launch an immediate forensic audit, investigate how the monies are used, and make the budget approval, any approval of the budget, subject to the results of that audit. Thank you.
Next, come on up. Please state your name.
I'm Rachel Humes, lifelong resident of Lee County and taxpayer. During your introduction, you said that these are the things that you have authority over. I argue that if you have the authority to spend our hard-earned money, that you also have the responsibility to make sure that there is no misappropriation of our funds. Some very serious allegations have been brought forward regarding the Supervisor of Elections, Tommy Doyle, as well as the Sheriff, Carmine Marceno. After public comment closed at the last hearing, you had the attorney explain why you should not be held responsible to ensure that our elected officials are not misappropriating our tax dollars. That sounds like a cop-out to me. Is there some law that precludes you from holding them accountable? Is there a law that precludes you from conducting a full forensic audit? If there isn't something requiring you to do it, but there is also not something precluding you from doing it. We're asking you to go over and above what might be your normal everyday job to make sure that our hard-earned money that we can't afford to give you in the first place isn't being wasted and misappropriated illegally. I've also noticed a lot of campaign money going back and forth between our constitutional offices and some of you in your accounts. I don't understand how that's not a conflict of interest. I think anybody who has received campaign money from somebody that they are approving in a budget for should recuse themselves from voting on it. I don't understand how that works. We're sick and tired of this swamp. We need guarantees that our money is being spent wisely. We elected you to represent us and protect us, and there might not be a lot of people who can make it to a meeting in downtown Fort Myers at 5 o'clock on a work day, but we represent a large and growing group of concerned citizens who are sick and tired of this. We're asking you to require that a full forensic audit be conducted and a subsequent clawback on both constitutional offices in question as a stipulation of you approving this budget. Thank you.
Please, no clapping. Thank you. We said at the beginning, please. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Come on up, state your name.
Hello, sirs, ma'ams. Ruth Ann Stewart, Lee County Unincorporated, and I didn't really prepare anything, but I'm as concerned as the other speakers about the budget misappropriations, specifically with Tommy Doyle. And I would also like to see a forensic audit done. I really hope that you would see the importance of this so that we can feel confident about how our funds are used and how the fact that a constitutional officer is running his office with integrity and not using it for personal gain or to hide, I don't know how to say it, but to hide activities that are maybe immoral. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak at this time? Please come on up. Okay, before closing public comment, I'll ask one more time, does anyone wish to speak? Okay, this concludes the public comment segment of the hearing. Any questions from the board or the board? Any comments this time? All right. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolutions from the special taxing unit. Do I have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have approval from Commissioner Hammond, a second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. Any objections? Seeing no objections, motion proves unanimous. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final budgets for the above stated special taxing unit for fiscal year 24-25. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Sandelli. Do I have a second? Commissioner Wayne? Okay. Any further discussions? Okay, seeing none, any objections? Seeing no objections, motion moves unanimous. We will now ask for the CFO to proceed with the countywide millages and budgets.
The proposed countywide millage is 3.7623 mils per thousand taxable value, equal to the rollback rate of 3.4613 mils per thousand of taxable value. Proposed millage is an 8.7% increase from the rollback rate.
Okay, I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final countywide millage resolutions. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sandelli. I will second it. Commissioner Greenwell seconds it. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, the motion carries unanimous. I will now ask for the motion to adopt the final countywide budget for fiscal year 24-25. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Hammond. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second from Commissioner Sandelli. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, do any objections? Seeing no objections, the motion carries unanimously.
The proposed Lee County Library millage is .4714 mils per thousand taxable value, equal to the rollback rate of .4361 mils per thousand taxable value. Proposed millage is an 8.1% increase from the rollback rate.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
yes.
Hammond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I propose we adopt the rolled back rate of .4361 mils per thousand of taxable value.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second from, we have a motion from Commissioner Hammond, a second from Commissioner Wayne. Do we have any further discussion? Any objections? No objections. Moves unanimous 5-0. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final Lee County Library budget for fiscal year 24-25.
Mr. Chairman, I'll gladly make the motion. Just had a question for Pete. Is there any amendment that needs to be announced for the budget then, since we've gone ahead and gone to the rolled back?
No.
No, okay. All right, then I move approval of the
Second.
library budget.
Okay, we have a motion to approve from Commissioner Hammond, a second from Commissioner Wayne. Any further discussion? Seeing none, motion moves unanimously.
The proposed Lee County unincorporated area MSTU millage is .8398 mils per thousand taxable value, compared to the rollback rate of .7711 mils per thousand of taxable value. Proposed millage is an 8.92% increase from the rollback rate.
Okay, I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for Lee County unincorporated area MSTU. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Rain. I'll second. Commissioner Greenwell, second. Any further discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, motion moves unanimous. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for the Lee County unincorporated area MSTU for the fiscal year 24-25.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
I'll
Commissioner
second it.
Rain, second from Commissioner Hammond. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, any objections? No objections, motion moves unanimous.
The proposed Lee County All Hazards Protection District millage is .0693 mils per thousand taxable value, compared to the rollback rate of .0643 mils per thousand taxable value. This represents a 7.83% increase from the rollback rate.
Okay, I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolutions for the Lee County All Hazards Protection District. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion from Commissioner Hammond.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, any objections? No objections, motion moves unanimously. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for Lee County All Hazards Protection District for fiscal year 24-25. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Commissioner Sandelli, a second from Commissioner Greenwell. Do we have any objections? No objections? Any further discussion? I'm sorry. Any objections? No. The motion carries unanimous.
Lee County, all other budgets for the board's adoption tonight make up the rest of the total county budget proposed for next fiscal year. These are funds that are not supported by a millage and include significant operations such as utilities, solid waste, Visitor and Convention Bureau, transit, toll facilities, and those budgets funded through grants from other entities. These budgets are included as part of the total Lee County budget and are detailed in the budget summary in your materials.
Okay, I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final Lee County all other budgets. Do I have a motion?
Move that.
I'll second it.
A motion to approve from Commissioner Pendergrass, second from Commissioner Hammond. Any further discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, motion moves unanimous.
In compliance with Florida statutes, this public hearing is being held on September 17th, 2024, for the purpose of the adoption of the final total Lee County budget for fiscal year 24-25, and the Board of County Commissioners has now adopted the final millage rates necessary to fund the budget. The proposed total Lee County budget for fiscal year 24-25 as shown in the budget summary reports, which outlines each fund and is made part of the budget resolution, is now being proposed for adoption as the final total Lee County budget of Lee County, Florida for fiscal year 24-25.
I want to ask for a motion to adopt the final total Lee County budget for the fiscal year 24-25. Do I have a motion?
Move that. Second.
Motion, Commissioner Pendergrass, second from Commissioner Romaine. Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objections? Objections, motion moves unanimous. There being no further business, one of us, we are adjourned.